The NFL. Season win totals hit the board last week at Caesars William Hill. For those of you who may be new to the season win totals market, here's how it works. Vegas assigns a number, an amount of wins to a team. Say 10 for the San Francisco 49ers.
Why not?
And then you decide if you're going to bet over or under. If they win 11 or more, the over wins. 9 or fewer, the under cash.
What happens if they hit 10? Exactly.
You get your money back, and it was an interest-free loan for about 7 months or more for the sportsbook. Now, here's some notable ones. The defending AFC champs, Kansas City at 12. The defending Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay at 11.5. The Indianapolis Colts, who we've been high on at 10. Sure. The aforementioned Niners at 10. And the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, according to almost no one in America, at 9. So let's talk about those San Francisco 49ers. 4 of the 5 teams that are drafting in the first 5 picks have win totals of 6, 6.5, 7. They're lousy teams, except for the Niners who traded up. That win total is 10. Would you play over on the Niners?
A light lean to the under. I think 10 is the right number. So if I had to, gun to my head, guess exactly where they'd land, 10 and 7 is what I would guess and a push. But if I have to go one way or the other, I will say under, and here are the reasons why. They have to win 11 to get over. And in that division, that'll be very tough. The Rams are expected to win more games with them. Their total set at 10.5. And the Seattle Seahawks still have, no matter who the 49ers draft, the best quarterback in the division. And they helped them out a little bit on the offensive line by bringing in Gabe Jackson from the Oakland Raiders. And they still have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on the perimeter. I think the defense will look closer to the second half defense we saw for Seattle as well. The Arizona Cardinals upgraded the roster, even though they're still coached by Cliff Kingsbury. Kyler Murray will have his progression into year 3. So light lean to under. They should probably get better injury luck, which would help them this year, but still it's such a difficult division. And I don't think whoever they pick at number 3 is going to either come in and dominate right away from week 1. He'll probably be someone who starts in the second half of the season, and they might accrue a few losses with Jimmy G, who I don't believe in very much, even though he's led them to a Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. So light lean to under, more likely a push.
Shame on you for calling them the Oakland Raiders. That's $1 in the jar.
No, I said that's where they got Gabe Jackson from.
The Oakland Raiders.
Oh, God, Gaskets, you're right. It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Make it $2 for doubting me on that.
And the San Diego Chargers.
I have a lean like you as well. I lean to the over. It's not a bet I love. We'll get into some ones we love in a bit. You got to remember something. Last year, this Niners team was 6-10 despite horrific injury luck. Garoppolo, Kittle, Nick Bosa, Richard Sherman. That's just the tip of the iceberg. They had a point differential of -14, which is closer to an 8-8 team than a 6-10 team. You do have 17 games this year. They had to play multiple home games in Arizona, if you remember, because of the COVID rules in Santa Clara County. So I see the Niners bouncing back strong. I lean over, not one I love. Let's talk about ones we love. When you talk about an over, when you went through the 32 teams, what popped off the page?
Very simply, I'm buying into what the Carolina Panthers are doing, especially bringing Sam Darnold in. They were 5-11 last season. 8 of their 11 losses, Joe, as you like to point out, were kind of one-possession scenarios. They had an opportunity on their last possession to win or tie in 8 of those games. I think they have upgraded at quarterback with Sam Darnold, who is going to be now in the most, efficient, best environment he's been in maybe his football career, with Joe Brady helping him develop his skills, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson. I like the investments they made on the defensive side of the ball. I like Matt Rule as just a football coach. I think he's really freaking good. Drew Brees is gone from New Orleans. Atlanta's in a rebuild. And then they match up with the NFC East, a division that was awful last season, and the AFC East. Who knows if the Patriots get better? Who knows what happens with the Jets if they get better? But their other matchups are the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans, who might be just a complete mess this year. So I'll go over 7.5. They don't even have to be a 500 team. They can be 8-9 and cash this ticket.
You said Drew Brees is gone, but you know who's still there.
Oh, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston. Eat that W.
I can't do it. I can't possibly bring myself to doing something so ridiculous. But I'll leave it to Winston. One of the overs I like, the Minnesota Vikings, 8.5. They were awful on the defensive side of the ball last year. So much so, Mike Zimmer, the head coach, came out and said, this is the worst defense I've had in my entire career. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he got at. He's been coaching defense since the early 90s. So they signed Patrick Peterson. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson. They signed Mackenzie Alexander and more. The defense will be better. The offense was top 5 in the NFL last year. Home field advantage is going to be big for them.
Yeah,
they
I agree.
were 3-5 at home last year with no fans. 2 years ago, they were 6-2. That dome is loud. The fans being back in the building is going to help that team, and they're going to have a third-place schedule. So I like the Vikings to go over 8.5, which under popped off the page at you.
It's a low one, but I think one of the lowest unders is going to hit the Detroit Lions. Just 5 wins. Downgrade in talent at quarterback.
That's your boy, though,
Jared Goff. But Matt Stafford just has more talent in his arm. I don't think Goff is terrible. I just think Stafford is better. They lost Kenny Galladay, too. Who are the wide receivers going to be? Quintez Cephas? Huh?
Is that actually a receiver?
Yeah, exactly. That is actually a receiver for that team. Dan Campbell, I think, is about as good as Matt Patricia. So I think this team is going to be literally one of the worst.
Knees?
Yeah, this is going to be one of the worst teams, I think, in the NFL, contending for the #1 overall pick in next year's draft.
I flirted with the under on Houston because I think they're going to be a train wreck. I will take the under on the Tennessee Titans at 9.5. No one's going to like this because the Titans are one of those teams that seem to get it done. They were 11-5 last year with a +52 scoring differential. It's more indicative of a 9-win team, so they overperformed. 7-2 in one-score games. They were #1 in the NFL in turnover differential. We know regression's coming there. Turnover differential might be the most predictive stat when it comes to wins. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, is gone. He went to Atlanta. Derrick Henry has carried the ball 782 times over the last 2 years, regular season and playoffs combined.
Yeah, but have you seen him do that push-up workout with the chain and then the bands?
That's why that note was all the way at the bottom. I'm kind of scared. That's why that note was all the way at the bottom. So there we go. They cross over with the NFC West. Under on the Titans, 9.5.
I do like the point of losing Arthur Smith. I think that's huge because he is the one who kind of rescued Ryan Tannehill and turned him into the quarterback that Adam Gase could not. And I'm thinking Sam Darnold might happen with Joe Brady in Carolina.
All right, so more of that can be found on our YouTube page, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. We'll be rolling it out, and so will the Crew Daily Wager, ESPN2, beginning today, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.